Morphology is the branch of biology that deals with the form of living organisms and with the relationships between their structure. Morphology also is a frequently used method for identifying animals and plants. Sawdust is a byproduct or waste product of woodworking operations such as sawing, sanding, milling, planing. Environmental crimes, or also known as green crimes, is an illegal act which directly harms the environment. These illegal activities involve environment, wildlife, biodiversity, and natural resources. What constitutes an environmental crimes? In United States, Title 5 ENRD Section 5 to 11 of Justice Manual divides environmental crimes into four categories: pollution crimes, wildlife crimes, animal welfare crimes, and worker safety crimes. There are no international agreements that give a clear definition of what constitutes an environmental crime. What is the driving force behind environmental crimes? There are three force factors behind environmental crimes. First, high gains associated to such acts. Second, modest recognition of seed breaches and the punishment correlated. Third, high demand for traditional medicine and the arguable health benefits associated. Is dumping sawdust bad for environment? Dumping sawdust is harmful. What other more intelligent uses can we put the stuff? The resulting pollutants from sawdust briquettes conversion in heat energy are ash and air pollutants emanated through the combustion gases, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, and particular emissions.
Environmental crime investigation. Environmental crime is a growing threat that affects natural resources, peace, development, and security. For decades, it was not covered in true essence in many parts of the world, resulting in the critical effects to humans and the environmental today. Environmental crime investigation and financial intelligence are significant responses to prevent natural resources and human beings from environmental criminal activities. Environmental crime is an illegal act that directly harms both humans and the environment. It is a negligent, knowing, or willful violation of environmental law within jurisdiction. Examples of environmental crimes include illegal wildlife trade, smuggling, ozone depleting substances, illicit trade in hazardous waste and pollution, illegal mining, illegal unregulated unreported fishing, and illegal logging and associated trade in stolen timber. As per the Enhancing the Detection, Investigation, and Disruption of Illicit Financial Flows from Wildlife Crime report that financial investigation unveiled a wildlife and timber smuggling network in Thailand. First, another case study of cross-border wildlife crime is an organized crime group operating in Sweden, the United Kingdom, and Finland, who were suspected of having illegally traded wild birds' eggs on a large scale. Second, the above-mentioned environmental crimes can be separated into the following categories: the air pollutants emanated through the combustion gases. First is the carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, and particularly emission. Climate, forest, ocean, wildlife. Major drivers of environmental crime include economic benefits, sustainable demand, poverty, as well as institutional and regulatory failures. Environmental crime has not been regarded as a priority in some countries, which has resulted in a lack of appropriate and proportionate governmental responses, perceived as a victimless and low priority crime. Environmental crime often fails to prompt the required response from governments and law enforcement. Key destination for large-scale shipments of hazardous waste, such as electrical and electronic equipment, include Africa and Asia. In addition, lack of resources for monitoring or control for an emerging market makes it a low-risk business for organized criminal networks, which makes hazardous waste to bypass or deceive law enforcement authorities as second-hand goods.
Interlinkage with other crimes. Below are examples of how environmental crimes can be interlinked to the other crimes. The difference between environmental crimes where each violation is needed to conduct the other. For example, illegal logging is done to clear forests for illegal mining or palm oil and subsequent poaching to feed workers. Criminal use establish smuggling routes for different types of commodities such as illegally exploited minerals, timber, drug trafficking, and human trafficking. Other serious crimes like tax fraud, trafficking, forced labor, threat finance, money laundering, and forgery are all used to conduct independent environmental crimes. Environmental crime investigation model. Environmental crime investigation model is based on the following areas. Investigation method. Criminal investigation of environmental crimes targeted the most harmful violations of environmental laws that pose significant threats to human health and environment. Criminal investigations are carried out via methods including interviews, searching a person or document, examining documents or objects, use or force for self-defense where required, and subject expert area. Example environmental crimes, illegal logging, dumping of hazardous waste, and dirt trade. This required well-trained special agents and investigators. Science and technical expertise. Environmental crime investigations required in-depth investigation with specific methodologies and technical expertise. Sampling and testing of materials. Example, chemicals or colored liquids. To obtain evidence against environmental crimes is a critical and specialized area. Scientists or specialized technical experts are required to collect this evidence. Legal and prosecution aspects. The legal and prosecution aspects of environmental crime is significantly increasing in demand. Environmental laws or regulations developed are at all levels. Example, criminal, administrative, and environmental liabilities levels, including sanctions, prisons, sentences, fines, and restoration of damage. Cost of legal and prosecution cases are high and are conducted by specialized environmental law experts.
Root. Foreign FIs may be particularly exposed to risk as many banking systems in weak or unregulated jurisdictions dominate or clear in high demand foreign currencies and have correspondent banking relationships with foreign FIs. Transactional behavior environmental crime transactions appear to be inconsistent with the customer's business activities, which does not make them economically viable. They could also involve incorrect third-party payments, inadequate customer information or custom documents, over and under invoicing, frequent cash deposits withdrawal in multiple jurisdictions, and requests for high denomination banknotes. Conclusion. Environmental crime control is in high demand. For example, there has been national legislation created to criminalize environmental crime, enhance investigation, information sharing between law enforcement authorities, FIUs and FIs, civil society organization, and etc. It is spreading at a fast pace in developing and underdeveloped part of the world. A better understanding of environmental crime consequences, which cannot be combated by a single person or entity, but by all of society, will lead to the quick adaptation and implementation of the environmental criminal investigation model around the globe.